Okay, so let's see how many collectives I can offend in today's video, eh? Because today we're going to be talking about Scotland! More specifically, about Scotland's First Minister, Humza Yousaf. Ooh, what a lovely man that Humza Yousaf is. I love Humza Yousaf. And you know what, Scotland? Humza Yousaf loves you too. Yes, Humza Yousaf has come to be something of a big brother figure to all of you true Scotsmen. A little overbearing at times, some would say. Some of you, for instance, think that his new hate speech bill goes a little too far. Right? It's a little overzealous, but I can see that it's born out of compassion and a sense of duty to the Scottish people. He's like a protective mother grouse roaming the moors with her chicks. Sure, she can be overzealous, overprotective at times. When a careless cat comes a-prowling, she'll scratch his eyes out with her piercing talons.
Aye, aye, aye. Ah! Stop following me. Shit.
But isn't that what you really need, people of Scotland? A big old mother grouse to protect you from the cats. The cats of hate speech!
Daniel Boland, this is a heavy hitter. Do you guys know who this is?
So let's see what we've got here. A two-tier society. The new hate crime law in Scotland. New act has been dismissed as illiberal and worse, patronising. Patronising, surely not.
Keep Safe Scotland is an excellent example of how communities can work in partnership with Police Scotland. Keep Safe is a multi-award-winning initiative that brings a network of amazing businesses and community organisations together to help create safer communities across Scotland. Keep Safe places are places you can go if you feel lost, scared, or need help when out in the community.
Alright, so maybe it's a bit patronising.
There are around 1,000 Keep Safe places across Scotland. These have been checked and approved by Police Scotland.
1,000 Keep Safe places throughout Scotland, and they've all been approved in person by the Ministry of State Security. I mean, Police Scotland. Thank you, Humza Yousaf. I mean, if that doesn't reassure you, people of Scotland, I don't know what will.
And you can find them on the free Keep Safe Scotland phone app. Or just look out for the Windows sticker, which will be on display in all Keep Safe places.
Ooh, it's like Exodus.
God has come to me again, saying, "Take a lamb, and with its blood mark the lintel and posts of every door. For tonight I shall pass through the land of Egypt and smite all the firstborn. But when I see the blood upon your door, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not enter."
But I'm sure, you know, Humza isn't going to kill the firstborn of every business owner who refuses to put the sticker on their door. It hasn't come to that yet. So the Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Act comes into force on the 1st of April, because of course it does. And its supporters say that it's a serious and essential attempt to make Scotland a more tolerant society, while its detractors call it illiberal and a scandal and a wee bit gay. Oh no, it doesn't say that, but it should. Alright, so here comes the explanation of the bill a little bit in its own words, okay? And this is where it gets a little bit, alright, a little bit newspeak, okay, is what you reactionaries would call it, wouldn't you? People who've read 1984 and nothing else. This is our brave new world, and if you still think Harry Potter's okay, you can fuck off, okay? This is the future. If you don't like it, you know where your local Keep Safe spaces. Turn yourselves in, because your wife is probably an informant. So there's nowhere to hide is what I'm saying. The two-tier society, I can't wait. Can't wait for all the tiers. The new legislation criminalises threatening or abusive behaviour that is intended to stir up hatred against someone who possesses or appears to possess certain characteristics related to age, disability, religion, sexual orientation, transgender identity, or variations in sex characteristics. Turned on already. Race is already included under the Public Order Act 1984. Oops! 1986. Shut up, reactionaries. Get out. Go and read The Philosopher's Stone, you big turfs. Race is already included under the Public Order Act 1986, thank Christ. But the controversial omission of sex has been criticised by some turf groups. Those astro-turfers, you know what I'm saying? They make me furious. Now, let's play the devil's advocate just for a second here, alright? Because in amongst all of the nasty, bitter, frankly Hitlerian feminists who are just trolling on this lovely new legislation being rolled out in Scotland because, frankly, their day of comeuppance is upon us. There are some legitimate concerns being raised about this legislation. You know, there are a lot of people who are saying, hey, Danny, and they do come to me. They say, hey, Danny, aren't there more pressing issues in Scotland at the moment? You know, like rising violent crime, increased poverty, things that have been problems in Scotland for decades, you know, drug dependency, obesity, bless them, they still think that we consider that a problem. Killer whales.
The Scottish coast was teeming with killer whales.
It's an absolute epidemic. You can't move for killer whales on some parts of the Scottish coast. And, you know, it's my team that raised these issues with me. I mean, I don't know if you know, I've got a team out here in Spain of about 12, exactly 12 people who help my set design and everything, and they raise these issues with me, you know, when I'm researching and all the stuff that goes into my videos. And I have my 12 man team, and they raised this issue with me in preparing for today's video. They said, you know, aren't there other issues? You know, you can't just be 100% behind Humza Yousaf's. You know, you have to have a lot of nuance and balance. It's a Daniel Boland product, this video, and frankly, we're not just going to let you make a fool of yourself. Anyway, I took my team out to, when they raised these concerns, I took them out to the nearest olive tree, and I sat them down under it. And you can't find that many olive trees out here in the north of Spain. It's not the kind of arid land that you want to grow olives, but there is one not too far from here, a couple of miles down the road. There is an olive tree. I took them anyway. I took them and I sat them down under the olive tree, my team, and I sat them down, not in a patronizing way, you know. We've got a great camaraderie here. I call them my disciples, and that's not a narcissistic thing, you know. As I say, great camaraderie. I call them my disciples as a joke. I've given them all nicknames. And the one who, they raised these issues with me, and I said to them, look, under the shade of the olive tree. It was raining, but we were under the, you know, under the olive tree. It was dry under there. And I said to them, look, do you not see that all of these other issues, the obesity, the knife crime, the unemployment, do you not see that they're all the product, they all have a common root cause? And do you know what that is? I said to Peter. And he looked around, he was confused, he began to weep. And I said, it's okay, Peter, calm down, you're always getting... Anyway, I'll tell you what it is, and you'll see the error of your ways. It's hate. So... And then one of them piped up and said, what? Even the killer whale epidemic? And I said, Judas! Sweet naivete. Especially the killer whale epidemic. They all got up and started clapping.
Oh, you! Get the fuck, don't fucking bite the board, you cunt! What are you doing in the lock anyway? I'm not dying today. Get the fuck, you junkie!
Scotland is about to become a two-tier society where some folk are given protection by the law from some kinds of hate crimes, while others simply have to suck up the abuse, wrote Jim Spence for the Courier. For example, while it will be an offence to stir up hate against T-folk, the T-1000s, It won't break the law to stir up hate against women. Now, I'm not laughing at hate against women. God forbid. Well, in fact, I'm not laughing at that. I'm a pretty edgy guy. I'm a bit of an edgelord, I'll have you know. I'm pretty edgy. I'll tell you just how edgy I am. I'm as edgy as the YouTube community guidelines will allow me to be.
Real bad man.
It is funny, though, how for decades we've been laughing at these crazed feminists who are screaming about the patriarchy. Oh, and we have laughed. But what if they were right? That really men have actually been conspiring against women like no other collective against any other in the history of humankind to hold them down, right? Because on the surface, we've been caving to every whim of the feminists for decades. But in fact, men, the patriarchy, we have been playing the longest game of chess in history. We're saying, oh yeah, we'll give you everything you want, everything you really, really want. Girl power, right? Bollocks to girl power, because you are now the only collective that even if you even speak up in favour of women or in defence of women, you get called one of two things: a simp by the right or a bigot by the left. Bravo. Checkmate, women. Well played, patriarchy. Harassment or threatening behaviour is already illegal, so the purpose is clearly to criminalise speech which some minority groups find offensive or abusive, said Ian McWhirter in The Spectator. It gives carte blanche to anyone who feels they have been misgendered, ridiculed, or that their religion has been disrespected, to leap to their nearest reporting centre to ventilate their hurt feelings. Wow. If only William Wallace could see you now. How far you've come, Scotland. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's finish this article, shall we? Third-party reporting centres will allow victims or witnesses who don't feel comfortable going to the police to make an allegation. The inclusion of places such as a mushroom farm in East Lothian and Luke and Jack's sex shop in Glasgow has raised eyebrows. Well, perhaps to the untrained eyebrow, but none of these eyebrows have been raised by that. A mushroom farm, eh? A sex shop. Classic Stasi infiltration points. They're very smart, you know. They set up shop in the places that the bigots, the kulaks, least suspect. They wander in for their weekly ration of mushrooms. Maybe they go and take their dildo to be serviced. And right there and then, as soon as they walk through the door, boom! That's when they nab them for that edgy tweet they made back in 2019. An awareness campaign for the new law has also drawn criticism. The Police Scotland video featuring a cartoon character called the Hate Monster, who gets bigger and bigger until he's weighing you down, has been accused of trivialising hate crimes, said The Sun.
You might know this thing here. It's the hate monster. When you're feeling insecure, when you feel angry, he'll be there, feeding off the emotions. Getting bigger and bigger till he's weighing you down. He'll make you want to have a go at somebody. A neighbour, somebody on the street, on a night out, security guy on the door, somebody in the chippy, your taxi driver. He'll make you want to vent your anger, just because folk look or act different for you. The hate monster wants you to feel like you need to show you're better than them. Then, before you know it, you've committed a hate crime.
Now, my issue isn't that it's trivialising hate crimes. My issue, in fact, I could even say for kids, that could be helpful, or even for nice, law-abiding simpletons. That could actually be helpful, that video. It's just, I feel that the people that are out there beating doormen to death, I feel like, you know, the target audience are not really going to look at the hate monster and go, oh no, that's me. You know what I mean? I don't know if they have that power of introspection. I don't think, even if they do, the hate monster is the one to get through to them.
Doesn't make you feel better though, does it? Maybe for a minute, but then you just feel worse, don't you? 'Cause the hate just hangs about like a bad smell.
What? Aye, you've committed a hate crime. Oh, you'll feel on top of the world if you beat a cabby to within an inch of his life and he's lying on the floor in a pool of his own blood. You're gonna feel great for a few minutes, but when you come back to your senses and he's, you know, sitting there writhing, he's just gonna be hanging around like a bad smell, to be honest, isn't he?
But it doesn't need to be like this. You're better than that. You know it. You've got all this energy, so do something positive with it.
Oh, you got so much energy. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the problem with psychopaths, you know, energy. But anyway, it is what it is. Look, the rest of this article, there's only a couple of paragraphs left. There are some people saying that this is getting blown out of proportion, that really it isn't making anything that wasn't already illegal, that it's just strengthening sentencing and stuff like that. But I don't know. I watched Paul Joseph Watson's video on this, and he made a lot of wild claims that are all 100% accurate about how they want to extradite people for making comments on Twitter. They want to extend these laws beyond Scotland's borders to extradite people in other countries to face criminal charges for tweets they've made that have offended people in these protected groups, communities in Scotland. I don't know if that's true. That sounds a little bit too far-fetched. But who knows? My team are working on it. I'm going to take them back down to the olive tree first thing tomorrow morning. Isn't that right, Peter and Judas? Thaddeus and Judas, the other one, Icterius, whatever. We're all going to do that, and I'll see you in the next one. It's very late. My brain's not working. My mouth is stopping. It's not functioning. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. See you in the next one.
Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white. Every Deputy Chief Constable, white. Every Assistant Chief Constable, white. The Head of the Law Society, white. The Head of the Faculty of Advocates, white. Every Prison Governor, white. And not just Justice. The Chief Medical Officer, white. The Chief Nursing Officer, white. The Chief Veterinary Officer, white. The Chief Social Work Advisor, white. Almost every trade union in this country headed by people who are white. In the Scottish Government, every Director General is white. Every chair of every public body is white.
The hate monster doesn't like that. In fact, he hates it.